Hey everyone, thank you very much for joining us for another story here at Any Narrates. The title for this one goes like this. My husband overhears my mother talking about how ungrateful and spoiled I am at our 10th wedding anniversary. Not wanting to create a scene, I waited for the night to finish, and before she left, and put her in her place. Oh boy, I didn't expect her to do this. Hey there, I'm Alicia, 37 female. I run my own marketing company, and my husband Thomas, 42 male, is a cardiologist at a nearby hospital. We've been happily married for a whole decade now. Thomas and I crossed paths about 12 years ago, and after 2 years of dating, we tied the knot. Our life is pretty sweet. We both have our careers that we're passionate about, and that helps us to do well for ourselves. Even though it's just the two of us in our little family, we don't feel lonely. We've chosen not to have kids of our own, but that doesn't mean our lives are any less exciting or meaningful. We made this decision because we believe in living life on our terms and embracing the things that make us happy. Thomas is not just my husband, he's also my best friend. We support each other's dreams and enjoy spending quality time together. Our journey has been filled with laughter, love, and a few adventures along the way. We make it a point to appreciate the little things in life, whether it's trying out a new restaurant or going on a spontaneous weekend getaway. Now, about our nieces and nephews. They are the absolute joy in our lives. Thomas's brother has 3 adorable kids who have become the apple of our eyes. We love being the cool uncle and aunt to them. Our weekends often involve fun outings, movie nights, or just hanging out at home playing games. We spoil them with love and occasional treats, and it's heartwarming to see their faces light up with excitement. Being a part of their lives is something we cherish deeply. We attend school events, celebrate birthdays with gusto, and offer a listening ear when they need someone to talk to. It's amazing how the pitter-patter of little feet and their innocent laughter can add so much warmth to our home. Our decision not to have our own kids doesn't diminish our love for children. Instead, it has allowed us to challenge that love towards our nieces and nephews, creating strong bonds with them. We're grateful for the role we play in their lives, and it brings us immense joy to see them grow and thrive. And while most of our family respects our decision to not have children, my mother Candace, 63 female, is not fine with it. Candace has made it clear on more occasions than I can count that she's not cool with the no grandchildren thing. She's got this way of bringing it up at family gatherings, almost like clockwork. Picture this, we're having a nice dinner, and out of nowhere she drops a comment like, "Wouldn't it be nice to have little feet running around here?" Now, I love my mom, but it's like she's got a broken record playing that tune. It's not just the comments, she sometimes throws in these taunts too. She'll say things like, "You're missing out on the best part of life by not having kids," or "Who's going to take care of you when you're old?" It's like she's a one-woman campaign to get us on the baby train. The "when you're old you'll regret it" line is her favorite. I get it. She's from a generation where having a family was seen as the ultimate goal. But times have changed, right? Thomas and I are perfectly happy with our decision, and we've thought it through. We've got our nieces and nephews to fill our lives with joy, and we're not sitting around thinking we're missing out. Dealing with these comments can be a bit tricky. I try to brush them off with a smile or change the topic, but sometimes it feels like I'm stuck in a loop of baby talk. Thomas, being the calm guy he is, usually just nods and changes the subject too. We've even had some heart-to-hearts with my mom, explaining that our life is fulfilling the way it is, but it's like talking to a brick wall sometimes. Growing up with my mom wasn't always rainbows and sunshine. It was just the two of us and, life had its ups and downs. We weren't swimming in gold coins. In fact, we were what you might call poor. Coupons were like our golden tickets to getting groceries without breaking the bank. Bills? Oh boy. They were like unwanted guests that overstay their welcome. We'd play this juggling game, trying to figure out which bill to pay first. It was like a puzzle, but not the fun kind. I remember being just 13 when I decided to jump into the job scene. Yeah, you heard that right. 13. My mom was working like a superhero, but her paycheck was like a superhero on a diet, so I thought, why not chip in? I got myself a part-time gig to help out with the money stuff. My days were a crazy mix of school, work, and being a mini housekeeper. Imagine a teenager scrubbing dishes and doing laundry like a pro. That was me. It was this balancing act going on, trying not to let anything crash down. While my friends were playing video games or hanging out, I was hustling to make ends meet. But you know what? It taught me a lot. It made me appreciate every little thing, like a warm meal or a cozy bed. Fast forward to now, and life is a whole different story. I run my own marketing gig, and Thomas, my husband, is a heart doctor. We're not swimming in debt, we're swimming in dreams. We've got a long way from those coupon clipping days. Let me spill the beans about last weekend. It was our 10th wedding anniversary, and I was over the moon about it. Thomas, my awesome husband, and I have this thing where we spoil each other rotten. I'm talking extravagant gifts, fancy vacations, the whole shebang. Plus, we're gearing up to retire in a couple of years. Life's treating us well, and we're loving it. So back to the anniversary bash. I'd been planning this shindig for what felt like forever. I had a super duper special surprise in mind for Thomas. Picture this, Florence, Italy. Yep, that's right, I was going all out and gifting him a dream vacation to a place we'd always talked about visiting. It was like a fairy tale in the making. Now here's the kicker, my mom. She usually does the whole baby talk thing, but this time, she cranked it up a notch. The party planning was all on me, and I was excited. I took charge of every single detail, making sure it was a night to remember. But moms have a sixth sense or something. As the celebration unfolded, Thomas and I were beaming with joy. We exchanged gifts, and when I handed him that envelope with the Florence trip details, his eyes lit up like fireworks. Mission accomplished, right? Well, not for my mom. Amidst all the hugs and cheers, she decided it was the perfect moment to bring up the baby topic again. I was in the zone, celebrating, and then bam, mom drops this bomb like, wouldn't it be even more special if you had a little one to celebrate with? I kid you not, it was like a record scratch moment. I was thinking, come on mom, can't we just enjoy the fact that we're on cloud 9 without diapers and midnight feedings? But no, she had to go there, right there in the middle of my carefully planned celebration. I smiled, took a deep breath, and calmly told her that Thomas and I are living the dream life, just the two of us. We've got our fancy gifts, our dream vacations, and a retirement plan that's on point. Kids aren't in the picture, and that's okay. It's like she couldn't fathom that our version of happiness doesn't include cribs and lullabies. And let me tell you, it's not like we haven't thought it through. We know what we want, and it's this amazing life we built together. So there I was, mingling at this party, enjoying the vibes, when out of the blue, Thomas, my husband, took me aside. I'm thinking, what's up? Little did I know, it was about to get real. He guides me into our room, and I can sense something's off. Thomas drops the bomb. My mom, Candace, spilled some tea, and it wasn't the sweet kind. Apparently she'd been chatting about our shindig, calling it extravagant at all. But that wasn't the kicker. Oh no. She went on to label me as this ungrateful spoiled kid. Now, I've heard my fair share of comments, but this one hit differently. According to Candace, all I care about is living my best life, and heaven forbid, I don't want to pop out grandkids because it might cramp my style. She even went as far as saying I care more about money than anyone else. Let me tell you, those words stung. It's like, hold up, where did this come from? I've worked hard, hustled through life, and built something for myself. And now, I'm being painted as this money-hungry, selfish person? Not cool, mom. Not cool. The grandkids thing though, that's a whole other story. It's not about hindering my lifestyle. It's about choosing a path that feels right for Thomas and me. We're not anti-kids. We just have a different definition of happiness. And let's be real, kids are a big deal. You can't just throw them in the mix without careful consideration. It's frustrating when people make assumptions about your life, especially your own mom. It's like she's wearing these glasses that show a distorted version of reality. And here I am, thinking we're doing pretty darn well. We've got a loving marriage, successful careers, and plans for a future that's looking pretty bright. But nope, according to Mom, it's all about being this ungrateful, spoiled child who only cares about money. It's disheartening, you know. I've always wanted her to see the hard work, the struggles, and the victories that got me here. Instead, it feels like she's stuck in this narrative that doesn't align with who I am. I couldn't help it and I ended up crying. Thomas held me and asked me if I wanted to ask Candace to leave. I sniffed and shook my head. No way was I going to let this turn into a drama fest. I wiped away the tears, put on a brave face, and went back to the party. But let me tell you, it was like trying to enjoy a chocolate sundae when you know you've got a dentist appointment the next day. Not happening. I saw Mom over there, chatting away with my friend like nothing happened. And here I am, trying not to burst into tears again. I wanted to confront her right there, spill the emotional beans and ask, is this really what you think of your own flesh and blood? The weight of those words lingered, casting a shadow over the celebration. I tried to engage in conversations and laugh at jokes, but my mind kept going back to what Mom said. It's like, how can I enjoy this moment when someone I love thinks so poorly of me? Over the years, I've been backward to help my mom, financially, emotionally, you name it. It's not about keeping score, but I've been there for her. I've supported her through thick and thin. And then to hear her paint me as this heartless, money-grabbing person, it's a punch to the gut. A few years back, Mom hit a rough patch. Bills were piling up like a Jenga tower about to collapse. She was stressed, overwhelmed, and feeling like life was playing a not-so-fun game of tug-of-war. That's when I stepped in. Financial superhero mode activated. I remember sitting down with her, going through the bills, and figuring out a game plan. It wasn't just about writing a check and calling it a day. It was about understanding her worries and assuring her that we'd get through this together. I helped her sort out budgets, find ways to cut corners, and even pitch in financially to ease the burden. But it's not just about the dollars and cents. Emotionally, I've been her sounding board, the go-to person when life throws its curveballs. When her job got too demanding, I was there with a listening ear. When relationships got messy, I offered a shoulder to lean on. Late night talks, heart-to-hearts, you name it. I've been there through thick and thin. There was this one time when Mom went through a tough breakup. She was heartbroken, questioning everything. I sat with her, tissues in hand, listening to her pour out her feelings. We navigated the storm of emotions together, and slowly, she found her strength again. And let's not forget the countless times I've helped her navigate the labyrinth of technology. Moms and gadgets, right? I became the go-to tech support, patiently guiding her through smartphone snags and laptop hiccups. It's those small moments that knit us closer, creating a bond beyond just the parent-child dynamic. So when Candace threw those words at me during the party, calling me ungrateful and selfish, it hit hard. I've been the shoulder, the supporter, and the financial helper. I didn't do it expecting a parade, but to hear her negate all that, it was like a betrayal of the trust we built. I could have thrown a fit, yelled or made a scene, but what would that achieve? It's like pouring gasoline on a tiny spark. Instead, I chose to swallow the bitterness and soldier on. It's not easy though. Every smile I faked, every small talk I engaged in, felt like a performance. Seeing Mom chat with my friend was the breaking point. I wanted to confront her, to lay it all out on the table. But deep down I knew it wouldn't change her perception. It's like trying to convince a cat to bark. Not gonna happen. So I soldiered through the party, keeping my composure. Thomas kept shooting me those concerned glances, but I shrugged them off. I didn't want to ruin the celebration for everyone else. The party vibes were winding down, and before I knew it, it was just me, Thomas, and the one and the only Candace left standing. The air felt kinda heavy, you know. The tension was like that feeling right before a storm hit. So I decided to rip off the band-aid. I needed to know what was up with all the talk behind my back. I took a deep breath and faced Candace. Mom, we need to talk. I could see the surprise in her eyes, like a deer caught in headlights. I straight up asked her about the things she'd been saying, throwing those words like confetti. At first, she tried the denial dance. What are you talking about, sweetheart? I haven't said anything. Classic move, right? But I wasn't backing down. I dropped the bomb that Thomas overheard her spill the beans. That's when the poker face cracked, and she couldn't hide it anymore. It was like watching a plot twist in a movie. Candace sighed like she got caught red-handed. "Fine, if you must know," she said, "I think you're being ungrateful. All you care about is money and living the good life. You don't want to give me the joy of having grandkids. It's like you're putting your fancy lifestyle above family." Now let me tell you, it felt like a punch to the gut. Here I am, thinking I've been a good daughter, helping out financially and emotionally, and she's hitting me with this ungrateful child label. I took a moment to process it all, and then calmly asked, "Mom, do you really believe that? Have you forgotten everything we've been through?" She didn't look me in the eye, playing with a napkin like it held all the answers. "You have a good life now, but it feels like you've left me behind. Grandkids would bring joy, and you're denying me that happiness." I was trying not to let the frustration boil over, but it was tough. "Mom, it's not about leaving anyone behind. Thomas and I are building our own life. We've had our struggles, and now we're finally in a good place. It's not about denying you anything. It's about choosing what's right for us." She sighed again, this time like I was the one not getting it. "You think this luxurious lifestyle of yours will bring you lasting happiness? What happens when you're old and there's no one to take care of you?" I took a deep breath, feeling a mix of sadness and irritation. "Mom, happiness isn't about ticking off a checklist. We're happy now, and who knows what the future holds. It's not fair to guilt trip us for living our lives the way we want." Things took a wild turn when I laid it out for Mom. I couldn't handle the guilt trip anymore, and if she kept it up, I didn't want her around. Well, let me tell you, that set off a fireworks show. I could see it in her eyes, that mix of shock and anger. She started going on about how she birthed me, took care of me all these years, and now I'm repaying her like this. It felt like a guilt bomb exploding right there. Then, out of nowhere, she grabs a vase and sends it flying off the table. It crashes, shards scattering everywhere. I'm standing there, jaw on the floor like, did that just really happen? Thomas didn't waste a second. He steps in, telling Mom she's gotta go or he's calling the police. It's like a scene from a movie, only it's happening in my living room. Mom's not done though. She looks me dead in the eyes and says, "Hope you lose everything important to you, and then you will know how I feel." It's like she unleashed a tornado of emotions, tearing through everything in its path. Now I'm left standing there, questioning if I was too harsh. Did I just shut the door on my own mom? It's a heavy feeling, like a storm settling after the chaos. I guess sometimes you gotta draw the line for your own sanity, even if it means breaking ties with someone you've known your whole life. Thanks for being here and listening to my rant. Sometimes you just need to let it out, you know. Here's to hoping the storm settles. After that whirlwind of a party and the showdown with my mom, Thomas and I needed a breather. So guess what? We packed our bags and jetted off to Florence, leaving the drama behind. Florence turned out to be this magical escape, like a reset button for our souls. We dived headfirst into exploring the city's rich history and culture. The architecture was jaw-dropping, like every building had a story to tell. We strolled through the cobbled streets hand in hand, feeling like characters in a romantic movie. First stop, the iconic Florence Cathedral. The sheer size of it blew our minds. We climbed to the top for a panoramic view of the city, like we were on the top of the world. The whole sightseeing thing was like a distraction therapy, helping me shove aside the echoes of that party drama. And then there was the Uffizi Gallery, a treasure trove of art. Paintings, sculptures, you name it. It was like stepping into a time machine, surrounded by masterpieces that whispered stories of centuries past. We got lost in the beauty, forgetting for a moment the emotional turbulence of waiting back home. Food, oh the food. Florence knows how to serve up a feast. We devoured plates of pasta, slices of pizza, and gelato by the bucket load. Every meal felt like a celebration, a toast to leaving worries behind and savoring the flavors of the moment. The Ponte Vecchio Bridge was another highlight. The way it arched over the Arno River, adorned with shops, felt like a scene out of a fairy tale. We strolled across, picking up trinkets and souvenirs, creating new memories to replace the ones we left behind. Our trip wouldn't be complete without a visit to the Babali Gardens. It was like stepping into a green paradise, a peaceful retreat from the hustle and bustle. We wandered through the lush gardens hand in hand, breathing in the fresh air and letting go of the baggage we carried from home. Nights in Florence were pure magic. We dined under the Tuscan stars, sipping on local wines and losing track of time. The city's charm worked like a charm on us, washing away the residue of the emotional storm. I won't lie, it took an effort to keep those party memories at bay. But Florence, with its enchanting beauty, helped us do just that. It was our little oasis, a haven of love and adventure. I'm at the airport right now, and our flight got delayed. I feel like the universe is telling us not to go back and just stay in this beautiful city. Returning from Florence, we expected some post-trip chaos, maybe a little dust, and some unpacking to do. What we didn't expect was the side that greeted us. Our house was a mess, as if a tornado had swept through. Instant panic mode set in, and we feared we'd been robbed. Swift action was needed, so we dialed the police. Thomas rushed to check the security tapes. What we discovered on those recordings left us dumbfounded. It wasn't a random burglar who wrecked our place. It was my own mom. She had used her emergency key to barge into our sanctuary and turned it into a chaotic war zone. The police arrived, and there we were, stuck in this bizarre situation. They asked the inevitable: did we want to press charges? It was a tough call. We knew mom's actions were way out of line, but sending your own mom to the slammer? That felt like diving into a moral dilemma headfirst. Ultimately, we decided against pressing charges, hoping to find a less legally messy way to deal with this family fiasco. With the cops gone, I needed an outlet for the frustration boiling inside. So I hopped into my car and headed straight to my mom's place. When she opened the door, I didn't bother with pleasantries. I stormed in, ready to unleash my pent-up emotions. "Why, Mom? Why did you trash our home?" I yelled, feeling a mix of anger and betrayal. Her response hit me like a ton of bricks. She wanted to show me what it felt like to be with an ungrateful, spoiled child. It was like she thought wrecking our place was some kind of lesson in tough love. I warned her about the consequences and about how I could get her arrested for breaking into our home and vandalizing it. But her reply was just chilling. "This is all that's left now, huh? Your own daughter sending you to jail for teaching her a valuable life lesson." I couldn't handle it. The air was thick with tension and resentment. I decided to walk away, leaving her standing there in the aftermath of her misguided lesson. Returning home, I found Thomas knee-deep in the cleanup process. He knew I didn't want to talk about it, so he gave me the space that I needed. We worked in silence, picking up the pieces, both physical and emotional. It was surreal, the realization sinking in that I had just been betrayed by the person I least expected. The whole situation left me in a state of confusion. What do you do when your own mom turns your home into a war zone? How do you process the mix of emotions, anger, hurt, and the lingering question of why? As we cleaned, I couldn't escape the haunting image of our trash home and the memory of my mom defending her actions. It felt like the foundations of trust had crumbled, and I was left wondering if they could ever be rebuilt. Thank you guys for all the support. Thomas and I finally decided to not file police charges, but we were able to get a restraining order against Candace. I have no intention of trying to mend our fences for now. I just want to enjoy my quiet, quote-unquote luxurious lifestyle with my husband. And that was a wrap up for today's story. Thank you very much for listening. Smash that like button for me and subscribe for more stories. Thanks again, and we'll be seeing you in the next one.